जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तेरा बनचारी यमुना तेरा बनचारी यमुना जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Vrindavan Dham. Jaya Lalita Vishakha, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Lalita Vishakha, Jaya Radhe Shyam. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. नित्यलय प्रविष्टा जयं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतस्य श्रीमद् एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी जगतगुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त बुंद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ षडगोस्वामी प्रभुगण की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री भासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की, जय श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की, जय श्री पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, जय श्री द्वारका धाम की, जय श्री बद्रिका धाम की, जय श्री अयोध्या धाम की, जय जय श्री कृष्ण भक्ति पदायिनी श्री वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की, जय श्री गंगा मैया जमुना मैया की, जय श्री शिल प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की, जय जय श्री जुग धर्म हरिदाम संकीर्तन की, जय जय श्री हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की, जय श्री भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर सुबह आविर्भाव महामहोत्सव की उपस्थित समस्त भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर सीतानाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ऑल गोइज टू assembled devotees हरे कृष्णा, ऑल गोइज टू assembled devotees हरे कृष्णा, ऑल गोइज टू assembled devotees हरे कृष्णा, ऑल गोइज टू श्री गुरु गौरंग श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesu Avadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. So on this most auspicious day of the appearance day of one of our great stalwart Acharya in our movement, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. First of all, myself, I want to seek the blessings and the mercy of all the Acharyas, especially today's days is very empowered that anything done on today, Bhaktivinoda Thakur surely recognize the most fallen souls like me and some of the others, so that by his mercy may I be able to speak something. And before that, I also am paying my humble obeisances at the feet of all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So please bless me and give your mercy so that whatever I little bit understood about this sloka, I can repeat it, or I can, try to enlighten on this sloka so that it will enhance our devotional sentiments, including myself especially, so that my heart will get purified, and also it will help all of us to advance in our Krishna consciousness. So I have been asked to speak something about the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So it is entitled The Transcendental Knowledge. So today we will be discussing on the 28th verse. For last couple of days you have been hearing on this very important section, Transcendental Knowledge. So Dravya Jaggyas Tapo Jagya Yoga Jaggyas Tatha Pare Swadhyaya Jagya Jaggyas Cha Jatayaha Samsita Vrataha Dabhya Jaggyas Tapo Jagya Yoga Jaggyas Tatha Pare Swadhyaya Jnana Jaggyas Cha Yatayaha Samsita Vrataha Dravya Jaggyas Tapo Jagya Yoga Jaggyas Tatha Pare Swadhyaya Jagya Jaggyascha Jatayaha Samsita Vrataha Dravya Jaggyas Tapo Jagya Yoga Jaggyas Tatha Pare Swadhyaya Jnana Jaggyascha Yatayaha Samsita Vrataha. Please repeat. Dravya Jaggyas Tapo Jagya Yoga Jaggyas Tatha Pare Swadhyaya Jnana Jaggyascha Jatayaha Samsita Vrataha. Dravya Jaggyas Tapo Jagya Yoga Jaggyas Tatha Pare Swadhyaya Jnana Jaggyascha Yatayaha Samsita Vrataha. Dravya Jaggyas Tapo Jagya योगजज्ञास्तथा परे स्वाध्यायज्ञानजज्ञाश्च यतयः संसितव्रताः. Mataji? द्रव्यजज्ञास्तपोजज्ञा योगजज्ञास्तथा परे स्वाध्यायज्ञानजज्ञाश्च यतयः संसितव्रताः. Word meaning: द्रव्यजज्ञाः, sacrificing one's possessions. Tapah jagyaha, sacrifice in austerities. Yoga jagyaha, sacrifice in eightfold mysticism. Tatha, thus. Apare, others. Swadhyaya, sacrifice in the study of the Vedas. Jnana jagyaha, sacrifice in advancement of transcendental knowledge. Cha, also. Jatayaha, enlightened persons. Samsita brataha, taken to strict vows. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki. Having accepted strict vows, some become enlightened by sacrificing their possessions, and others by performing severe austerities, by practicing the yoga of eightfold mysticism, or by studying the Vedas to advance in transcendental knowledge. Purport. These sacrifices may be fitted into various divisions. There are persons who are sacrificing their possessions in the form of various kinds of charities. In India, the rich mercantile community or princely orders open various kinds of charitable institutions like Dharmasala, Annakshetra, Atithishala, Anathalaya, and Vidyapitha. In other countries, too, there are many hospitals, old age homes, and similar charitable foundations meant for distributing food, education, and medical treatment free to the poor. All these charitable activities are called Dravya-maya Jagya. There are others who, for higher elevation in life or for promotion to higher planets within the universe, voluntarily accept many kinds of austerities such as Chandrayana and Chaturmasya. These processes entail severe vows for conducting life under certain rigid rules. For example, under the Chaturmasya vow, the candidate does not save for 4 months during the year, July to October. He does not eat certain foods, does not eat twice in a day, or does not leave home. Such sacrifice of the comforts of life is called Tapomaya Jagya. There are still others who engage themselves in different kinds of mystic yogas like the Patanjali system for merging into the existence of the Absolute, or Hatha Yogya, Ashtanga Yogya, or Ashtanga Yogya for particular perfections. And some travel to all the sanctified places of pilgrimage. All these practices are called Yoga Jagya, sacrifice for a certain type of perfection in the material world. There are others who engage themselves in the studies of different Vedic literatures, specifically the Upanishads and Vedanta Sutras or Sankhya philosophy. All of these are called Swadhyaya Jagya, or engagement in the sacrifice of studies. All these yogis are faithfully engaged in different types of sacrifice and are seeking a higher status of life. Krishna consciousness, however, is different. from these, because it is the direct service of the Supreme Lord. Krishna consciousness cannot be attained by any one of the above mentioned types of sacrifice, but can be attained only by the mercy of the Lord and his bona fide devotees. Therefore, Krishna consciousness is transcendental. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshirunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Sa Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitam Sa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo 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 Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratashi Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karati Vachalam Pangam Langhayate Girim Jatkupatamah Vande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Sri Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram. Hare Krishna. So almost getting late. Prabhu, after this any program is there? No. Okay, so as we are discussing this section of Bhagavad Gita and in this previous chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that is in the third chapter, Krishna very elaborately described from the 36th verse to 43, almost last 8 verses of the third chapter. Krishna described the eternal enemy. So what is that? What is the eternal enemy? Is the lust. So obviously most of us are affected by that, this lower modes, as Prabhupada used to say, passion and ignorance. So that is the reason why, and then the answer Krishna gives is, what is the way, how to get out of the lust is by the, how to curb the lusty desires is by, what is it? By deliberate cultivation of spiritual intelligence, right? That is the answer Krishna gives very nicely in the beginning of the chapter. That is the link actually. So in the that's why in the fourth chapter from the beginning, Krishna starts that how he glorifies this Jnana Yoga. You know, Jnana Yoga. We are in the Jnana Yoga. So he gives a very what are the glories of Jnana Yoga. He very elaborately he describes. So in that all of you have been hearing. In the beginning he tells that how he imparted this knowledge in this parampara, now this parampara is lost, and then he gives various descriptions of in the 4.9 especially, this chapter 9th sloka. So this has a relation to today's verse also, because we should know whenever we read any sloka, we should know the goal, where we are going, why we are reading this sloka. So there Krishna says, Janma karma mamisa divyam. So my Jarma means my appearance and my karma, that means activities, both are transcendental. So what is the falasruti? What is the outcome? If anybody understands or knows my Janma and karma, he doesn't have to take rebirth. And that he goes back to Godhead. That is the glory of this jnana. Simply by knowing Krishna, simply by understanding Krishna. So that is why this fourth chapter, because only by cultivating this transcendental knowledge one can be protected from lust. So that's how it started. And in the third chapter also, Krishna has described what is that called Niskama Karma Yoga. You have heard, without any attachment, without any expectation of result. Sakama and Niskama. So what is the outcome of Niskama Karma Yoga? The outcome is jnana. So that is what we are studying, this jnana yoga. So once one performs Niskama Karma Yoga, then jnana arises. So then, in the 12th verse of this chapter, what Krishna says, there is path of karma yoga. What happens to the karmis? So they usually do some pious activity, just like in the purport. Very elaborately Prabhupada describes something called Dravya Jagya. You see there are certain key words in this sloka: Dravya Jagya, Tapo Jagya, Yoga Jagya, Swadhyaya Jagya. These are the four things. And then the last word is Samsita Brataha. Samsita Brata means vow. Samsrita means it is like a strict vow, like we observe the Ekadashis and fastings of festivals with strict vow not to break it. So it is very clear the meaning once one does perform Dravya Jagya, Tapo Jagya, Tapasya. Dravya means any material possessions, right? Material possession mainly wealth or anything in our possession. Manasa Deha Geha Jo Kichumar. Whatever in our possession, if you offer to Krishna, it is called Dravya Jagya. And tapo means, again, there are various types of tapasya, austerity. Manasik means mental, and the vachasik in the verbal, and also the saririk, that means bodily austerities. So that is also one way. And then yoga means Ashtanga yoga. Then Patanjali, and yesterday or day before yesterday you have heard from Mukundat Prabhu, he described detail these various yogic processes. But mostly yoga means Ashtanga yoga or Patanjali, all these things. And then Tatha means all this, and Apare. And then Swadhyaya means studying the scriptures, like in the purport Prabhupada said, especially the various Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra. So all these things. Just I'll outline the meaning, then we'll go to the details. And then Jnana Jagya. That is Swadhyaya Jnana Jagya. So Jnana means the knowledge. Whatever knowledge we have, you have to offer it to the Krishna. That is just like we know what we do in the yajna, we make some fire and in that we put some ghee or any material, so that get burnt. So similarly, whatever possession we have, if you offer to Krishna, so that is finished, right? So we get some result. In the yajna, what happens? Some person comes out, like or sometimes some yajna purusha comes out, or some animal, or some various is described in various chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. So similarly, here in this section, actually, Krishna, broadly, if you categorize, there is Dravya Jagya and Jnana Jagya. These are the two broad categories. Okay. So before that, in the 13th verse, actually he says these karmis, what they do is they worship the demigods, various demigods. They to get some boon from them, but their blessings is material. It is temporary. All these demigods, they cannot give a liberation. They cannot give a permanent recovery. So like that. So Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga, both are liberating. But Karma Yoga is binding. It causes bondage, right? This is the fundamental understanding. All of us know. So Karma Bandhan, it's called Karma Bandhan. So let us see how this, and then Krishna is coming to the 13th verse of this chapter. He says, Varnasrama. I created the 4 Varnas based on Karma and the Guna and Karma. Okay. And then in the 19th verse he says the various karmic reactions. So what happens once we acquire that jnana, these all the karmas, especially both pious and impious, that burn into ashes. Many places Krishna says, in Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita also he says that by I am present in the as a super soul in the heart, and what I do is by my presence I burn all the ignorance, the darkness, the sinful reactions, and make the soul free from the sinful reactions. So like that. So here also all the by simply acquiring the jnana, the fire of jnana, knowledge, all the karmic reaction are burnt into ashes. One can be free from. That is jnanagni dagdha karmani, Krishna says. And then in 20 and 21st verse he said what is the process, the practice of sadhana bhakti, sadhana, and what is the ultimate goal, that is siddhi, sadhya, that is perfectional stage. So like that he describes. So Jagya, as we know, all of you have been hearing, so I am just repeating it. Jagya in this particular sloka, we must understand any Jagya we do. Jagya means something sacrificing, giving away. Somebody is doing some karma, he gets some money, he gets some, whatever name, whatever he gives to the Lord. That is called. So actually in this section from 24 to 33 of this section, Krishna is describing the glories of the various sacrifices. Why sacrifices has to be done, how it has to be done. So we'll just outline that. So in this particular previous slokas you have heard, I'm just coming to that. So in the 25th verse, 26, 27 and 28, these 4 verses. Today is the after that tomorrow is also there, 29. So 25th Krishna says karma jogi and jnana jogi. Karma jogi means they worship the demigods, they get some temporary benefit, they want to go to heaven and enjoy but if they cultivate bhakti there, they can also get liberated. Liberation means either through Brahma Jyoti, that is Sajuja Mukti, or to Vaikuntha or to Krishna Loka. These are 3 things Prabhupada mentions. And then Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga means offering the sacrifice, jnana, knowledge, and the fire of Brahman. Brahman means spiritual. Normally what happens, the Brahman, the spiritual thing is covered by the ajnana, ignorance. Once the ignorance is covered, and how the ignorance is removed? By sacrifice. That is why people do sacrifice. They are not fools. They do something to get something, right? So then, in the 26th verse, next one, Krishna says, what is the sacrifice a brahmachari does, what sacrifice a grahastha does, right? Brahmachari usually they do sadhya, they control their senses, they control their mind especially, and then the senses they offer to the control mind, that is brahmachari. And the grahastha, they are also doing self-control, they also do the 3 things like charity, self-control and sacrifice. These are the 3 principles mentioned for the grahasthas. So they offer the sense objects of the senses to the senses. That's how they do that. And the last class in 27th verse, previous verse, you have heard in Patanjali Yoga, so that is Ashtanga Yoga, in the various levels, how the yogi, they offer the various life fairs. There are 10 life fairs, right? 5 major, 5 minor. So all the life fairs gradually they elevate and in the fire of self-control. I'm just outlining. So today, as I mentioned, so dravya maya jagya. Dravya means possessions, whatever, wealth especially. See, the wealth means those who are pious people. They are born in Janma Aishwarya Sutasri. They get a good birth in a high family, Brahmana or aristocrat family. And that is also a pious people. And also, Aishwarya means they are very rich, fabulously rich. Then Suta. Suta means very well educated. Sri means Saundarya. They get very beautiful body. So these 4 are the result of the pious activity. But here Prabhupada is mentioning in the his purport. So he says the sacrifices can be divided into basically 2 categories, and the rich mercantile category, they do dharmasala, annakhetra. We see in Vrindavan so many charity, they give annadan, free of cost food. In Radha Kund they distribute the clothing, everything they get, those who are sitting. And then various Vidyapithas are there where they give free education. Sanskrit, they teach Sanskrit or any. Then Anatha Ashram, there are so many in Vrindavan, especially Matajis and all. They have, they are homeless basically. So they have nobody, so they give, these are all pious activities, right? And also Atithi Shala, and some guests, they give free. So why they are doing this, all these people? Why? What is the aim? Aim is to get some sukruti, to get some pious result. So recently I just saw where we are constructing a house here in Rukmini Bihar. So I saw the owner who sold the house, one Gosala fellow was there. He was heading some cows. So then he made a bore well for him. Then I asked him, why you are doing all these things? Then you know what he said? These are the pious credits. I invested 60,000, I got 60 lakhs by selling. He was basically broker. Yeah. So like that, we see people just to get some material gain, they do some punya karya. Yeah. Annadan, all these things. Of course, in our society also Prabhupada encourages all these activities, like we are going food for life. But the difference is, they don't offer this food to Krishna. That is why it is material. Whereas for us, we offer to Krishna and become prasadam. It is mercy, Krishna's mercy. That means we are distributing Krishna's mercy. By simply eating prasadam, they can get liberated. Isn't it? So that is the difference. Prabhupada says, Nirvandhe Krishna sambandhe yukta vairagyam uchyate. So whatever is there in our society, Prabhupada encourages everything. Like we, many times we go and distribute books. Some of them, those who are not affording, we give them free. So that is knowledge also we are distributing. Isn't it? So but what is the difference? It is not material. It is for the spiritual enlightenment, for enlivening. So that is how. And the Dravya Yajna, it can be also dovetailed. The consciousness, with what consciousness the Yajna is performed, that is the main thing. Either for Krishna's pleasure or get some material benefit. You got the point? That is the difference. So bhaktas, they do, Yajna means basically we understand to please Vishnu. Isn't it? To please Krishna, that is Yajna. Yajna Purush, we call Yajna Purush. So, for the satisfaction of Krishna. So with body, mind and our words, we can also do this sacrifice. And also, sacrifice doesn't mean to just put a fire and put ghee like most of the people are doing. No. Sacrifice means activity. That is why you see this dravya, means it is just not giving the thing. We have to do some action, some activity. That activity, this is Krishna karma arpanam. Whatever karma we do, that is varnashram dharma. Isn't it? In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Raya Ramananda was asked by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to what is sadhana and sadhya. So he first told Varnashram Dhamma. Mahaprabhu rejected. Then he said Karma Misra, Jnana Misra, like that. Ultimately, he said then Sarvadhanman Paritejya, Mahamekam Santa. Everything Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected one after the other. Go deeper, go deeper. Then he said Brahma Bhuta Pasannatmana Suchitina Kankheti. In the second, that is Madhya Lila, in the 8th chapter, you will get all these descriptions. Ultimately, he says Bhakti Yoga. If you see in Upanishad, also it is mentioned, a very nice verse is there. Na pravachane na, by giving a class, lecture, or by na dane na, just giving some wealth or whatever things we are distributing, or na balahinena labhyate. So, no by no swadhyayana, means just by reading scriptures or by Veda Patana, that is called Veda Patana. So, all these things we cannot understand Krishna, we cannot achieve the goal of life. So, what is that required? Balabhadrena. That is what is Prabhupada is telling in the end of the purport. Only by the mercy of a pure devotee and Krishna we get bhakti, Krishna bhakti. ब्रह्मांडे भ्रमिते कोई भाग्यवान जीव गुरु कृष्ण कृपाते पाए भक्ति. Krupa is required. Without krupa nothing is. You see in any of our field, whatever body we got, that is also mercy, Krishna's mercy. Whatever opportunity got, so merciful. Prabhupada movement we have joined, this is also Krishna's mercy. We got a bona fide guru, we got the deities, that is also mercy, and mercy incarnation. And we got the prasadam, that is also mercy. These books, the lectures, everything is mercy. Without mercy, nothing can happen. That is what Prabhupada mentions in this towards the end. Krishna consciousness cannot be attained by any one of the above mentioned types. Means somebody does Dravya Jagya or Tapa Jagya. People do lot of austerities, like Prabhupada mentions. Chandrayana Vrata. Chandrayana Vrata means that is 30 days Vrat. 30 days. What they do is they take around 15 morsels of food. 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, like 15. So every day, first day 15, next day 14, next day 13, 1 less. So like that after 15 days, next full moon day. So like that, they complete fasting in the end. So like that they do 30 days. Yeah. So I am not going to details. And Chaturmasya is going on right now. Prabhupada never encourages Chaturmasya. He says unless somebody is very much troubled by passion or ignorance, no need. Just take once or twice nice prasadam. Of course, those 4 things, forbidden things are there. The first one, second one, fourth. That much is required because it has scientific reason. And there are weeds, it becomes unhealthy to take those things. So Prabhupada never, so because he said that just one stroke, by just become bhakti, all these yajnas are done. Simple way. So what is the evidence? In the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you see, in the 29th verse, 27th, the last verse, it is said, Vedesu, by reading the Vedas, Jagyesu, by doing Jagnyas, by sacrifice, Tapahasu, this is the last verse, by doing tapasya. Cha eva means, cha means it includes all the other yogas, like Ashtanga Yoga and all. Eva means also. And then, Danesu, by giving charity. Yat punya phalam pradishtam, whatever pious credit we get, atyeti tat sarvam idam, ati ityeti, tat sarvam, all these things together, idam viditva, but just viditva means knowing, by just knowing all these things, jogi param sthanam means supreme, param means supreme, sthanam means abode, the supreme abode, that is Krishna lok, upaiti chadyam means one achieves, cha adyam, adyam means original position. So that is the last verse. It actually the summary of 7th and 8th chapter, very important verse. So Vedesu Jagyesu Tapasu Chaiva Danesu Jat Punyam Phalam Pradishtam Atyeti Tat Sarvam Idam Viditva Jogi Param Sthanam Upaiti Chadyam. So in this Prabhupada very elaborately describes the 4 ashramas, how one brahmachari gets trained in Gurukul, he does all the austerities, Veda Adhyan, just do all the menial services, he goes to house, beg alms, he then gives everything to Guru, without his permission he cannot eat, all these things I'm just repeating. Then after from 5 years to 25 years, once the training is over, he may be allowed to go to Grahastha ashram. And also Grahastha, they have to do so many sacrifices, yajnas, Agnihotra yajna, they are supposed to. In Krishna book is mentioned, like the Pancha Suna Jagya. But if you are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that is Sankirtan Jagya, no need to do any of the Jagya. It's not possible also. In Kali Yuga, even Grahastha he has to feed all the creatures in the house, even small ants, whoever are there, who is doing all these things. Even for Grahasthas or any ashram. So the best Jagya Sankirtane Pai Jajanti Hi Sumedha. The most intelligent people, what they do is, they do Sankirtan Jagya. It's very easy, Sankirtan, and it is inaugurated by Lord Chaitanya himself. And also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to dance and he used to chant. And there's all these Mayavadi sannyasi, they used to criticize, especially Prakasanand Saraswati. He said, what kind of sannyasi you are? You're simply chanting and dancing, you should read Vedanta. You should read all these other scriptures. You should read Upanishad. Mahaprabhu said, Guru More Mukhyadaki Karila Sasan. So I'm a fool number 1. My spiritual master said, just chant and dance and eat Krishna Prasadam. So that is how, then when he was invited for a meeting, he defeated like anything he quoted from Shastra. So that, the reason I told this is, ISKCON devotees in our society, we are not like, we do all these yajnas. We do tapasya also. We do tapasya. Brahmacharya is a great tapasya, isn't it? And doing all fasting, what is it, Nirjala Ekadashi or any Ekadashi, many devotees do Nirjala. Is it not tapasya? And Prabhupada mentioned the Chaturmasya. Some of the devotees, they don't cut their hair. So not cutting the hair is also tapasya, because if you keep big beard and big hair, you look very odd, So you will not like to go in front of all other devotees. What kind of devotees? He is looking like a ghost or something. So that is also a tapasya. So my point is, what I mean to say is, Prabhupada is in his purport, he mentioned all these Jagyans who do all these things, they are better than those who are doing for sense gratification, isn't it? They go to some club, they become name and fame, all these movie stars, all stars, so cricket stars, sports stars, politicians, everything. So at least these people are better, isn't it? Because they are doing for the others. Drabya means they are giving their own possession to the others, isn't it? It's for their betterment or not. So they get purified. In the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, if you see, Krishna says, first fix your mind in intelligence. If you cannot do, follow the regulative principles. If you cannot do that, regulative principles, this morning program, what I would do, 16 rounds, 4 regulative, all these things. And also, all this sadhana. If you cannot do sadhana, do work for me. If you cannot work for me, then he tell this, give something in charity. That is Drabajagya. So at least by doing this, your possessiveness, because everything belongs to Krishna, we are falsely lording it over the material nature. That's why we are here, rotting in this world. So that's why Krishna says, please give something. If your family members are objecting, give something in charity to the others, so that your mind will get purified, you will get peace. So what is the purpose? Why people do all this sacrifice and all? It is described that they get some, what kind of result they get? Some higher status of life. After this life, they will be elevated to higher planetary system. From there, if they do bhakti, they will go back to Godhead, and they will get some mental peace, isn't it? And also, they become happy in this life and the next life, and they can control the senses simply by doing all these active sacrifices, and they will go above the sense gratificatory platform, and they will get such chit ananda. So they will become very happy in their life. And ultimate thing is by liberation. They will achieve liberation. And they will be also freed from illusion. So many benefits by simply doing these sacrifices. And then Ashtanga yogis, they have also this material desires. Prabhupada says very nicely, so many things they do, yam, niyam, pranayam, and then asan, pratyahar, so then dhyan, dharana, samadhi. So all these things so difficult to do in Kali Yuga. But the bhakta is very intelligent, even a poor person. Prabhupada says a poor person also, if he chants Hare Krishna, and if he can offer patram puspam phalam tayam, there he'll get the same result. He'll get a better result. Prabhupada says clearly, none of these sacrifices can make one person Krishna conscious. So the difference is, you can do all these activities, but with the proper consciousness, for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. That is the point. So all these yajnas, what is the final thing? It culminates in jnana, knowledge. And ultimately, that knowledge, it also culminates in Krishna consciousness. That is Bhakti Yoga. So that is what, but those who are mental speculators, they speak dry arguments, they do dry arguments, mental speculators, or they are independently studying the Shastras. Like in next few verses, in 34th verse, Krishna is going to tell how to achieve this jnana. Tad vidhi pranipatena parivesna sevaya upadesyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. So tattvadarshi means those who have seen the truth. Then you have to approach a guru, and what you have to do? First you pranipat. Pranipat means you submissive hearing. That is required. The Bhagavad Gita is told for the devotees. It is meant for the devotees. It is also to be heard from devotees in association of devotees. So devotee is a must. Then it will be fruitful. Prabhupada very clearly says in the purport, in the 8th chapter. So similarly, so all these, and the last is Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means reading too many scriptures, like the 6 Goswamis. They were also doing a lot of austerities. They were also studying all the scriptures. Nana Shastra Vicharana Nipunu Saddhama Samsthapako. So by the order of Lord Chaitanya, they came to Vrindavan and they were doing all these activities, isn't it? They were staying in the under the tree, eating just Raghunath Das Goswami, so much austerity. So all these yajnas can be utilized also for elevation in Krishna consciousness. But like everybody cannot enter into bhakti cult immediately. Like second chapter 31st verse, Krishna says, this varnasrama is a platform or a stepping stone towards bhakti. Because we see many of us, like at least myself, we are from very on a different background. Earlier we are practically karmis, isn't it? So while we came here, it is difficult to doing all these rules, regulations, following the all. So obviously that is why a varnashram system Krishna made, so that gradually we'll get purified and doing all these sacrifices, our existence become purified and we gradually become Krishna conscious. That is what he meant by this. And also Narottam Das Thakur, he says, so practically this is karma kanda, this is jnana kanda, this upasana kanda. All these things are Visera Bhanda. Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Sakale Visera Bhanda. That is what our Narottam Das Thakur Acharya says. So we should not be, usually devotees, they don't give importance to any all this. But still not that everybody is at devotee level. So we can utilize even Karma Kanda for the service of Krishna. That is what it is mentioned. So now to summarize, only 5 minutes is left. So what is the, for doing all these sacrifices, in the subsequent verses, Krishna will tell the main factor is the faith. Faith is the main thing. Unless faith is there, this thing is going to give the result. Nobody will get the result. Without any faith, if you are doing something, it is material, it is karma, it is not sacrifice. It will not give the jnana. The heading of this section is, we are doing some sacrifice to get the transcendental knowledge. By transcendental knowledge, our heart gets purified, it ultimately culminates in bhakti, right? So our ultimate goal is bhakti. So then to summarize, and then it is required another thing, dedication. We have to do whatever services we have to do, we have to fully dedicate ourselves, and it has to be self-control. We have to self-control. So summarize, so why people are doing this? So they are also sadhakas. All these are sadhakas. They cannot directly practice bhakti. So by doing all these sacrifices, they gradually elevate themselves, and they also want to connect to the absolute truth. That is their goal. So, but Prabhupada never discouraged all these things. He said, you dovetail your consciousness. This word you will find many places in Bhagavatam and Gita. So the consciousness is the key. Whatever activity you do, everything can be utilized for Krishna's service. Even the 6 anarthas, other than envy, lust, greed, anger, and everything can be used for Krishna's service. So everything is there in the scriptures. So then Krishna is telling people, in the end, he says that Drudha means by strict vow, if he perform all these sacrifices, ultimately the heart gets purified and get the transcendental knowledge, and by transcendental knowledge, the goal of this chapter was to control the lusty, because that is the stumbling block, that is the greatest anartha, because once anartha nivritti is done, all these things become super fast. So with this I will, so the two things here, the main thing is without the mercy of the Lord and bona fide devotees. So that is where in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, it is the Madhya Lila. It is mentioned one nice sloka. I will just read it and we will conclude it. How the devotee prays to the Lord to get the mercy of the Lord. It is mentioned in the Madhya Lila. So maybe one or two. 23rd chapter, verse 29. 23rd, 20. I'll just read it. Very nice verse. You can, the life's ultimate goal. So it is mentioned. Very nice quotation here. No prema. I'll just read the translation. Time is getting over. So, oh my Lord, I do not have any love for you, nor am I qualified for discharging devotional service. That means the sadhaka is telling, I have no qualification even to do bhakti. How? I am not even qualified to chant and hear. My mind get, always going here, there. Nor do I possess the mystic power of a Vaishnava. Vaishnava's mystic power, or knowledge or pious activity. I have no pious background, I have no knowledge, I am not a Vaishnava. Nor do I belong to a very high class family. I have no Sukruti in the past. On the whole, I do not possess anything. Still, O beloved of the gopis, because you bestow your mercy on most fallen, I have an unbreakable hope. This is called asabandha. A devotee is never hopeless. He keeps on trying, doing the things. He's always getting new, hope, new. So that is what is mentioned in this. It is mentioned in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami also. So I have an unbreakable hope. This is most important. Unbreakable hope that is constantly in my heart. That hope is giving me pain. So that is how a sadhaka is praying. So without mercy, many places in Shastra, without mercy of the previous acharyas, and especially today, all of us, let us pray at the lotus feet of Bhaktivinoda Thakur to become merciful to all of us, so that our devotion is well protected, our bhakti is well protected, and we'll get the spiritual strength. Balabhadrena. Balabhadrena means Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram, Bala means spiritual strength. He only can save us. He only can make us to avoid, to overcome the stumbling blocks in our devotional service. So that is what, with that, I am concluding today's session. Maybe some comments, 2 minutes are there. Anybody can correct me or something. Hare Krishna. Any question? Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Yes.
Acts of charity, penance and sacrifice should not be
Given up. Great souls. Yes.
So this shloka then Prabhupada writes in the purport that how these other things cannot be very fruitful, but Krishna consciousness is completely fruitful.
Yes.
So, but it is relative, no? That
Yeah.
is also true.
Yes.
That is also true. This is also true.
Yeah, because any jagya you do, bhakti has to be added. Whether it is karma, jnana or yoga, without bhakti, nothing will become fruitful. So bhakti is a must. So why it is told those three things should not be given up on any condition? Because that purifies the consciousness. And the central theme of this sloka is the Krishna consciousness. The consciousness has to be purified. Then only all these things become bhakti. Whether we give dravya, like we also give charity. We also, when some of the devotees, here, we also distribute books. We also give prasadam. We also give some, that also we do. So that is also bhakti. That is a part of bhakti, isn't it? So all these things can be spiritualized if the consciousness, the aim, the goal is proper. But people, they don't do for this goal. They do it for themselves, for their own sense gratification. Whatever they do, sacrifice. You see very clearly, tapasya they do for what? To get a purifier, become more comfortable, isn't it? And dravya they get, just like you see, I have seen in Tirupati, they gave 1 lakh and they ask Balaji to give 1 crore and they get it also. They get it. This is cheating. Prabhupada said this is cheating. Prabhupada very clearly said, you hear this Prabhupada lecture on these words. I was just reading the lecture today and Prabhupada says, this is the difference between, that's why it has to be under the guidance of Guru. The last, ultimate line. What says? Without guidance of the Guru, this cannot be. Swadhyaya, we may read so many scriptures. It is simple jnana, but it is not bhakti. But if it is under guidance of bona fide spiritual master, then it becomes bhakti. Like Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. That is also pure bhakti, isn't it? So all these activities has to be done under guidance by bona fide spiritual master. So he knows how to connect everything with Krishna. That is Yukta Vairagya. Anasakta sa visayan yatharham upujanjate Nirvande Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagyam Uchyate. So whatever thing, activity we are doing, if it can be properly directed, it can be purified, and without any expectation. What is Niskam Karma Yoga? Niskam Karma without any expectation. We are doing the same karma, but the result we are offering to Krishna. Like many of the devotees, they are giving the services. Many of the brahmacharis and they don't take any salary. They don't get any, just annual, maintenance they take little bit. Are they not sacrificing their life? Are they not sacrificing their energy, their intelligence? Like so many preachers, they go here, there, they give the knowledge and they take so much pain. So are they not doing the jnana yajna? So everything is there in bhakti also. The point is, you do bhakti, you don't have to do separately all these things. It is already done. So that is the 8th chapter 27 verse. You don't have to do Veda Adhyan. That is I read the translation. Simply doing bhakti, all the results you will get. You don't have to take the pain. And step by step, it will take long time. And it is very austere to do all these activities, isn't it? So that is why bhakti is so. The whole, this sloka, this also glorifies the bhakti, how it is superior to any other yajna, Sankirtan yajna. I told in the end, Sankirtan, what these Goswamis and all these, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, by their own example, they are teaching. Goswamis, you are chanting the rounds, isn't it? They are not going to, give. They have nothing. They left everything already at home. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, practically, Raghunath Das Goswami especially, they gave up everything, all these things. So that is where the Prabhupada is, be careful. That doesn't mean ki, of course, devotees, if somebody is chanting, but he is doing some other, then it becomes pious activity. He is not following 4 regulative principles. He is not, following the orders of his spiritual master. He has some ulterior motive. It's not pure devotional service. So this thing is pure devotional service, isn't it? So then it needs, of course, nothing is a loss. Nothing is a loss. Even I was surprised. I was very hesitant to think I'll do some Dravya Yajna to get elevated to Sargaloka. But then I read from Prabhupada lecture. Today he is telling, I heard and read, that he is telling even after Sargaloka you will go back to Godhead. That is not. It is difficult because so many sense gratification is there. But somebody is got the mercy. Somebody is cultivating himself. Why he can't go? Isn't it? So the hope is always there. That is the last thing I told. Asa. It is full. Devotee is never hopeless. Any condition, any bhakti will never stop. Ahetuki apratihata. Isn't it? So like Shraddha I said, if you become a good preacher, Krishna will be pleased, your Guru will be pleased, he will get the benefit, the person to whom you are preaching get the benefit. What more you want? So for that Shraddha is required. Isn't it? But itself, without bhakti, it is karma. It is material. That is what the meaning is that. I hope I'm little trying to. Thank you.
One more small point.
Yes.
This, you said faith. Without faith, everything will become useless.
Krishna will tell this in the concluding verse.
Also,
Last 2 verses, Krishna distinguishes in 4th chapter. You read the last 2 verses. What Krishna says? There are 2 kinds of people. One is Shraddhalu, one is Ashraddhalu. Everything is based on faith. Your faith is not there, nothing is going to.
but one thing about also CC says Shraddha Shabda Vishwas Kaile.
Yes, that's slogan. Siddhana Nishya.
Karle Sarva Karma Kriti.
Yes.
But one thing Prabhupada also said, strict for oneself, lenient for others.
That is the mood of the preacher. Yes.
Now if some outside person is offering obeisance,
Okay.
he may be having faith or not having faith,
He'll get a Sukruti.
but he'll get Sukriti.
Yes.
So,
Like Premanand Babaji. I am the best example. You see so many people come, they don't know what is bhakti. They are throwing flowers. At least to have a darshan, they are coming to Vrindavan. They are telling the holy name, Radhe Radhe, whatever. They are getting these are all Agyana Sukriti. They don't know anything. So they will give the better opportunity. Isn't it? So at least they are doing that. But those who are not coming, they are not doing anything. Or they are doing outside Vrindavan. This charity, these 4 Agyans are also done outside. Isn't it? Not in Dham. In particular Dham, it becomes multiplied so many times. And also it gives, there is a connection with Krishna. So Agyanta Sukriti, chances of getting Agyanta more in like those who come in the morning program. I was also part of that in Japa session. So they don't know anything, they hear simply, they immediately get the Sukriti. And in the Prabhupada's lecture, Prabhupada very nicely he says, those Westerners, they had, Prabhupada created Sukriti for them by giving them prasadam, by giving them Krishna Katha, giving them books, all these things. So that can be also done, created, isn't it?
Yeah. At same time also a sadhaka, he may not have 100% faith.
Yeah.
60%.
100% faith means Prem Bhakti.
Prem bhakti.
100% faith means Prem Bhakti. It is not so easy.
So in that case, what is situation? If sadhaka has 60% faith, 40%,
Yeah.
70%.
Jevam jatha prapadyante mam tatheva bhajamyam. Tam tatheva bhajamyam. Krishna says, if you are 60% surrender, Krishna will reciprocate 60%. If you are 100% surrender, you will go back to Godhead. So if it is 60%, then Krishna says, na, what he says? Yogokshamam vahamyam. Ananyas chintayantam je jana paripasate tesam bhi abhijuktanam yogokshamam vahamyam. If you have 60% bhakti you have done, Krishna will preserve that 60%. He will not let it go away. And the rest 40%, you have to do sadhana again. So it will be added. Bhakti is a permanent account. It never get exhausted. Abhyayam, abhyatma. It is never get exhausted. It is a... Yes, bro.
Yes, you said like all these activities if you do without bhakti, then it is...
No, it will not give a... It is material.
So
Yes.
how do you know that you are doing with bhakti or without bhakti? Like
Guru Sadhu Shastra. Guru Sadhu Shastra. Everything has to be checked with the spiritual master. If it is mentioned the way it has to be done as per scriptures, and you consult the sadhus, they are your guide. Unless it is certified by them, it is material. Many people are doing that. They are also thinking we are doing some good activity. The activity is same. In fact, they do far better than us. Because they lack the consciousness, it will not give any spiritual result. It is material. It is material. Yes. So that is why, yes.
so practically at every activity, how can we check that like we are doing all according to Guru Sadhu Shastra, because like we are doing so many activities and consciousness at that time.
See, we are doing as per scriptures. At least after coming to Krishna consciousness, our sadhana, what it is. The previous acharyas is giving the guidelines, Prabhupada, and we are Rupanugas, we are following the teachings of Rupa Goswami. So we know what we are doing, isn't it? So it is bona fide. But outside this, any other activity, then you have to cross check with your spiritual masters. Like some devotees, they go to some place and distribute some material things. But then you have to see, by giving that gift to the person, whether his spiritual upliftment will be there or he will do sense gratification. Like I remember one time I was in Hyderabad, one devotee brahmachari was there, he was getting married, Then the other brahmacharis, they are in group, they are staying in the ashram, they decided to give a refrigerator. Then their guide became very upset. What we are doing? Why are you putting him in? Freeze means what? It is like a tamagun, mode of ignorance. So you should ask what gift is the best for that person. So always under guidance. Your superior, guru may not be available all the time. Your authorities are there, superior are there, the scriptures are there. We are hearing, main thing is hearing. Even if you do something here, there, the other devotees will correct us, isn't it? Our Paramatma is there. If you are very sincere, he will give the indication. Of course, we may commit some mistake. We ask for forgiveness. Krishna will forgive us.
Especially when devotees are doing some great austerity.
Pardon?
Especially when devotees are doing great austerity by not asking for many.
Austerity is not we do like a ugra, like demons they do. Very severe austerity. Prabhupada said it should be moderate. Not too much, not too less. Medium is the safest actually. That's why I told, Chaturmasya, it is not, Prabhupada never insisted. Neither Ekadasis. He said, eat prasadam, distribute books. So he gives more emphasis to the service. Otherwise you will like a karmakandi brahmanas like that. So austerity is required, of course. Like I said, like somebody is suffering from too much in the rajagun, mode of passion. For him, Chaturmasya will help. But then doing fasting, he becomes sick. He will need IV fluids and getting admitted in hospital. That is where you have to judge. Many devotees, they come to the clinic, they ask me, I said, don't do all these things. Just take nice prasadam. Prabhupada says, I mean, you have to see the circumstance, time, place, person, and how much you can do that austerity. That's why all these tapo yajna, if you are doing bhakti, do you think chanting is not an austerity? 16 good rounds. Do you think 4 is not austerity? It's there already. In Kali Yuga, these are the most difficult austerities, to chant pure names and isn't it? But as per the prescription of the acharyas, like today we did fasting for their pleasure. So some minimum things has to be done, but it has to be individualized. It need not be generalized.
So everything should be under guidance.
Under guidance is the safest always, Otherwise, like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, they'll say upasakha, the weeds. We are thinking we are doing bhakti, but the main bhakti tree is gone. It is dried up, but the upasakhas, they are simply growing, isn't it? So we have to be very careful. Like Kutinati, so many things. Chaitanya Charitamrita is the best. So we should know the siddhantas. And many, even if you know the siddhanta, like some duality situation, ambiguous situation, you should preferably consult your Shiksha Guru or preferably Diksha Guru. So they are the one, because they will take the responsibility. Like recently, I think Janardhan Maharaj giving the class. Any services we are doing in the temple, forget about other things. In the temple itself, whatever is accountable to our authority, it is not service, it is disservice. Maharaj told very clearly. Prabhupada's guidelines are very clear cut, isn't it? We may be doing so many sevas. Maharaj, we are doing this, that. But is it recommended by the authority or not? Isn't it? Whimsically we may do, then our mind is our guru. And mind will cheat us, one day we will be knocked out. At least we are accountable to authority. That is difficult actually, to remain anugatya seva. Why everybody is not joining ashram? They cannot be under somebody. That is required. Under somebody's guidance means what? Whatever he says, you have to do. You are not independent. Then that is recommended. They don't come. They don't want to be under. Yes. But then Maya is there to kick them. If they are fortunate, one day they get frustrated, like so many of us also. Of course, pure devotees, they are very liberal, as you said. Prabhuji said, they are strict with themselves like Sanatana Goswami. He was very liberal with all others. So they know all the tricks, how to convert these. Yes. But yes, Guru Sadhu, that is always we have to be. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I was hearing the lecture today. How he was accountable. I mean, every single thing he will write, every 1 minute, how he spent. He has to, retrospectively, he has to analyze. Isn't it? So many things we have to learn from our acharyas, isn't it? But everybody may not be doing that. At least if you are aware that I am in Maya, that is a great. At least you. But many times we don't realize we are in Maya. That is because of this independent mentality. Krishna wants to give our full independence, that Lagu Swatantrata, minute independence, fully dependent. That's it. That's full surrender, isn't it? Little bit knowledge I have. Hare Krishna. Kanthara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.